Today we are starting a series of talks on how to write answers in IAS exam. It's about answers in IAS exam. Okay. This is not on writing in general. It's not on writing in general. It is about exclusively the issues involved in writing answers in this examination. Okay. I want to take up this issue topic by topic. And today I am going to explain the importance of examples. Importance of examples. Most students do know that examples play a very important role. Okay. They do know that they should give examples. But I don't think that students know the extent of importance of examples. And I don't think they know that examples can represent a powerful way of reasoning and application, and they can be a source of innovation in writing. Okay. But first let me start with what is a normal or usual way of giving an example. Student may write something like this: paragraph of a theory. So in his answer, theory occupies a lot of space. And then he says example 1. That's how paragraph ends. So theory huge, example less. So taking in terms of example by theory, example is very less. So student normally wants to say everything in theory. Here and there he says, for example, it is so. He expects the examiner to think that example automatically or is assumed to explain the theory. In this method, lot of theory, for example. Okay. So, elaborate explanation of theory and simply saying, for example. He thinks that is the way of using example. It means he knows examples are to be given, but his impression of giving examples is like this. I would rate this a very poor application of an example. I would almost say this is a wasting of an example. Okay, not making full use of the example. But what can be a superior method? We can think of a superior method, but let me tell you that I have recently come across one paper written by 11th ranker in 2018 examination. Her name is Priyadarshini. Priyadarshini. And the way she used the examples is particularly striking. I was going through her ethics paper written in a coaching center. So that question was about what was attitude and what does it do, something like that. It involved a definition and some points. Definition and points. What she did was, she defines and then she gives a point. One is a definition. Theory, example. And in giving points, she gave 4 points. In these 4 points, she gave theory 2 lines, example 2 lines. Theory 2 lines, example 2 lines. Theory 2 lines, example 2 lines. Theory E, theory E. Like this. It means in this particular answer, example by theory is 1. I was shocked. If you go by number of words allotted to the example and the number of words allotted to the theory, E by T is coming out to be nearly 1. Okay. It is not the method of writing lot of theory and say for example. So, in this particular answer, in fact, there was nothing much to write theoretically. Functions of attitudes, definition of attitude. There was nothing much to write theoretically, it's more like very obvious points. But then she covered the gap through example, following this ratio of UAT as well. I found it was a very good way of writing. Okay. Okay. But in this method, theory comes first and example next. In her method also, theory first and example second. Example second. But there can be a different way of using example. That is, I consider sometimes very helpful and so can be more innovative. In that thing, it is not theory that comes first. Example first and a theory next. Example is not to support or explain the theory after the theory is stated. Sometimes propose the example, give the example, and then say what is the theoretical point that is there in the example. Okay, so an answer can begin with an example. Example can take more words, and then theory can be, so this is it. Example first, supported by or generalization is theory. Okay. Or example 1, example 2, example 3 are theory. You consider this method of kind of induction. What is induction? Generalization from examples. Like this theory. Okay. So, example can be a very powerful way of communicating, powerful way of answering. Okay. So how do you develop this? Number one, you can't develop this simply thinking about examples in the examination hall. It's just not possible. So what you should do is, in this exam, many questions are expected. Many questions are expected questions go along expected lines in ethics, in essay, and optionals. So, what a candidate should do is take up questions and then see for each question what examples he can think of. Okay. So, when you are practicing answers or when you are working out answers to those questions, think in terms of what examples you can give. That is, prepare examples in advance, not in the examination hall. Okay. And then when you are reading newspapers or magazines, just see how they can be used as examples. And don't think examples mean it should be some case studies or current affairs events. Not necessarily. Examples can be from day-to-day life, from your observations of life in general. Particularly in ethics paper, examples can come from day-to-day life. Okay. So, open your mind to what is going on around and see how what you observe can be used as an example in your answer. Okay. And that calls for ability to apply theory, which means superior understanding of the theory. So, improve E by T. Example component in the examination. I think that gives very impressive answers.